Good morning. Sergeant First Class Reginald Knight, retired, reporting. It has been said for over 100 years by many diplomats that countries do not have friendships, they have mutual interest. There has been a lot that has been said about this Qatari facility being built at Mountain Home, Idaho, and I have given my opinion on it. I'm vehemently opposed to it and will continue to voice my opposition to it. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do over. You know, you can't do over your first kiss, but you can get a mulligan in golf. But in security, you don't get any mulligans. And when you do the wrong things, people lose their lives or their freedom. I give you the case of Jonathan Pollard, who's about 71 years old right now. He was caught spying for Israel, even though he's a U.S. citizen and he's Jewish. Jonathan Pollard gave Israel the entire 10-volume manual on how NSA does collections. That treasure trove of information was so valuable, I guess, that the Soviets, because it was the Soviets then, got a hold of pieces of it. And literally hundreds of agents out in the field, not just, trained assets, but informants and so on and so forth, started to disappear. Well, they called him and he served 30 years and he was pardoned in January 2021 by guess who? Donald Trump, just before he left office. Now, there's a more egregious case, and this relates to what I'm talking about as far as this Qatari facility being built. In 2019, a Saudi pilot, a training pilot at NAS Pensacola, went berserk one morning, and he ended up pew-pewing 11 people, and 3 of them lost their lives. NSA, CIA, FBI did an extensive investigation, and they discovered that he was a jihadist, and he had been on station at NAS Pensacola for 2 years. He was scheduled to graduate in 4 months until he decided that he was going to act. And in December of 2019, he got up early in the morning and he did what he did. What's the takeaway here, folks? Is that, yes, we train a lot of pilots. And I'm proud of that the U.S. has the technology and the know-how that countries want to come to make sure that their pilots are some of the best in the world. However, you have to keep in mind that all those pilots up to this point use our facilities, use our cadre, our radar arrays, our communications, so on and so forth. And even then, back in 2019, when Donald Trump was president again, the investigation revealed that there are flaws in the vetting process for some of these pilots that come here to train. My gravest concern is that when the Qataris do get their own facility, standalone from any U.S. structure other than the Air Force base that it sits upon, it creates an atmosphere that a lot of things that can be done detrimental to the security of the American people. Now, people can say that I'm a worrywart and I'm poo-pooing about nothing. But these are the same people, once again, who sit at the VFW or the trailer park that have never left home, that have never had encounters with security breaches. And when they see, when we have an incident that comes on the news, they shake their heads and they want to blame the government or whomever. In this situation, they would be right. Because I think just bring it in here to train, that's fine. But to create an entire facility on a established Air Force base for their own maturations, I think is foolhardy and dangerous. As I said before, nations do not have friends. We have mutual interest. And those interests are fluid and they change from time to time. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that what I'm telling you turns out to be a nothing burger. But if it isn't, remember you heard it here first. And you heard a lot of people saying that it was a good idea. And I'm telling you that it's not. Hope you're having a great Sunday. And I'm going to talk about something really important tomorrow. I'm working on it right now. And so I'll see you in the AM. Sergeant First Class Reginald Knight, retired, reporting. Have a good day.